So let's start this PRINCE2 Foundation Exam Simulator, which has in total 380 questions. So click on Start the Quiz. And in this exam, we will have 75 questions, because every time it's another 75. So the first question: which process lists the activities of the project manager? This is where they do the day-to-day management of a stage, and it's where they do most of their work. So starting up, that's not it, because that's just at the beginning. Managing product delivery, that's for the team managers. Closing a project is just at the end. So controlling a stage is the right answer, because that's where they do the day-to-day work. Next. Which document is used to define the justification for starting up a project? So there's a tip here, it contains the outline business case. So the key here is starting up a project. The project plan, that's not it, because it's created later. The project charter does not exist in PRINCE2. The daily log, that's just a log file. And the project brief contains the project product description and the outline business case. So in this case, it would be project brief. So I click on Next. Question 3. Which role uses the checkpoint report to report to the project manager? Of course, who fills in the checkpoint report? That would be the team manager. So that's there. The project support person doesn't really fill in reports, and you can see the project manager is not listed here, and that's the highlight report anyway that they fill in. So this is it. There's no role as team member in PRINCE2 that's described. So click on Next. Which of the following is an output of the starting up a project process? So that's just at the beginning. Highlight report, no, that doesn't happen until later. Initiation stage plan, yes, that's an output. Project mandate, that's actually an input. The benefits review plan, that's an output of the next step. So in this case, it's the initiation stage plan, which is a plan to manage the next phase of the project. Click on Next. Which team has the purpose to provide a framework to design, maintain, and the project plans, which are the project plan, stage plan, exception plan, and so on. So which team? That's quite easy, because we're talking about the plans here, and we're talking about the team that has a purpose, and that's the plans team. What should a project manager do if they forecast to go out of stage tolerance? If, for example, if they will lose 2 or 3 weeks, or if they go way over funding. So create a highlight report. No, that's a normal report. Raise an exception. That sounds good, because they have to tell the level above them this is a problem. Create a checkpoint report. That's done by the level below, so that's no good, by the team manager. Notify cooperative program manager. That's not done by the project manager. They have to communicate with the project board. So in this case, it's raise an exception. Then, what system tracks products, records when products are approved and baselined, and helps to ensure that the correct versions are being used, the correct versions of products, during the project and delivered to the customer? So the question here is really which system tracks the products. That's the key word. So when something is baselined and done, we update a log file or a register to show that that's done. And we don't do that for risk, quality, or for change request system that doesn't exist in PRINCE2. So it's the configuration management system. Who creates or who prepares the risk management strategy document? So that's done in the planning or the initiation phase, and it's not done by the executive project insurance. We don't have that role here in PRINCE2, so it's the project manager that does it. What they do actually is they download the template and they will update it. So that's number 8. Which report is used by the project board to evaluate the project before they take decisions to authorize the closure? Well, let's just first find the report that's produced at the end of the project. And it's not the exception report. It's not the highlight report because that's very often in the controlling a stage process. The end stage report is the end of every stage, except for the last stage. So it's the end project report. That will be used, created by the project manager, but used by the project board. Question then 10. What is another name for the 6 project variables? So we have 6 performance targets, 6 principles, 6 deliverables, and 6 themes. So that's not these 3, it's performance targets, because all of these are targets which we have to keep our eye on and make sure that we are in line with them. It's a way to measure the performance of the project as we're going on with it. Question 11. Which of the following is a benefit? A new sales system, a new sales process, simpler reporting, or 10% reduction in costs. Now, a benefit is something that's measurable. So if it's not measurable, it's not a benefit. And the only thing that's measurable here is a 10% reduction in costs. So a new sales system would be the output, the new sales processes as well. Simpler reporting, that would be an outcome. So the last one we have here is 10% reduction in costs. Which process does the project manager prepare the next stage plan for the next stage and request authorization to start the next stage? So the next stage plan is created in between the controlling a stage process, and that's done in the stage boundary process. The name the PRINCE2 gives it is managing a stage boundary. So in here we create the end stage report, which looks at the past stage, and then we plan the next stage, which is the next stage plan. So that's that. Question 13. Which management product is used to support focus on products and contains the following information: the product's purpose, the composition, quality criteria, and the quality method? So which management product contains all of these sections here? It's definitely not so. It actually describes what the product should be. So that's not the risk register or the business case, it's the product descriptions. Next, question 14. During which process does the project manager authorize the work to be done? So they give out work in work packages to the team managers. So that's the project manager handing out work to the team. And then is it controlling a stage, closing a project, directing or managing a stage boundary? Well, the only time the project manager gives out work to the teams is in the controlling a stage process. So that's that one. What is a sum of money that the customer and supplier agree to use to fund the costs of requests for change? So is this a change budget, beer money, that's a joke from me, risk register, or a project budget? So it could be actually these two, but PRINCE2 doesn't use this word here, so it would be a change budget. Which PRINCE2 principle is supported by the quality theme? So is it managed by stages, managed by exception, focus on products, or learn from experience? So this would be focus on products because each product description contains quality information. Actually, a lot or even 40 or 50% of the information in the product description is to do with the required quality. Next, 17. Who is the project's key decision maker on the project board? So who's the main person, the main role? Senior user, well, they represent the user. Senior supplier, project manager is not on the project board, so that would be the executive. And it's not a democracy. The executive has the final say. Question 18. The PRINCE2 approach to quality has 2 parts, quality control and something else. So is it quality planning, quality testing, quality policy, or quality strategy? Well, this is something I think that you have to know, but it's definitely not the quality strategy. At the beginning, we plan the quality and then we control the quality. So we plan the quality in the product descriptions and other products as well, and then we control it. So Quality planning comes first and then quality control. So it's done here in reverse order, but that might happen in the exam question as well. So it's here, it's quality planning. At what stage of a project can you be 100% sure of the costs of a project? Now that's a good, clever question. So is it on the project startup? No way. Is it at the end of the initiation stage? Well, we have a better idea, but still not good. After the second stage boundary process, maybe if the project ends there. At the end of the project, that's definitely for sure. So just before the budget is shut down, that's when we know how much the project will cost. So that's that. Which team provides information on what is required, how it will be achieved, and by whom? Okay, so the plans team, well, that's has got a lot to do with this because it's about who, what, and the timing. Is the business case team? No. The quality? No. The change team? No. So in this case, it's the plans team because it outlines what's required because it lists all the product descriptions as well. So let's click next. 21. Which two roles have the responsibility to create the product descriptions? So somebody can help the project manager create the product descriptions. So is it the project manager and senior supplier? No, not really. The project manager and team manager? Maybe. The senior user and executive? The senior executive will not do that. The senior user and senior supplier? No, no. There is a better answer here, and the answer is most likely the project manager and the team manager, because the team manager has domain knowledge, so they are used to developing products like this. So they will be able to add a lot more information and really support the project manager. So in that case, it's that answer. Question 22. In which process does the project manager set up the project controls? So these project controls will show the project board how they control the project. So initiation sounds good because that's where they create the project initiation document, and project controls are part of this. Managing a stage boundary, no, it's done before that. Controlling a stage, no. Directing a project, no. The project manager does not work here. So it's initiating a project. Question 23. Does the project product description define what the project must hand over to achieve customer approval? So the acceptance criteria. So the project product description is the main product description that is written at the beginning of the project. And it does create, or it does have, a section called acceptance criteria. So in that case, then the answer would be yes. Question 24. Which plan does not have to follow the PRINCE2 guidelines? So is it the project plan, the stage plan, the team plan, or the quality plan? So the project plan has to, the stage plan has to as well. The team plan can actually follow any guidelines whatsoever, but the quality plan or the quality process that you must follow has to be done. So the team plan is what's required. In some cases, the project can use PRINCE2, while the team could use Scrum or Agile. Question 25. Which of the following sentences is incorrect? Stage plans are produced close to the time when the planned activities will take place. That sounds okay, as this is correct because they happen at the stage boundary process and right before the next stage starts. Stage plans provide the basis for the day-to-day control by the project manager. Yeah, so actually it's a day plan for the project manager, so they know what to do. Stage plans are created by the project manager. That's also correct. Stage plans provide the basis for day-to-day control by the project board. No, that's not the case. So you see here, this is the opposite. So the project board only use the project plans. So that one would be incorrect. Question 26. The objective of which process is to ensure that accurate progress information is provided to the project manager and the team manager? So this question is a bit like asking, in which process does the team manager communicate with the project manager? So that's from a team manager's point of view, and they are always operating here, managing product delivery. So that would be that. Question 27. Which plan is updated, so not created, just updated, in the managing a stage boundary process? So which plan is updated? Is it the team plan or the project plan? Yes, I think so. Yes, it is. The team plan, no. The initiating stage plan, that's not updated because that's created. The stage plan is created in the stage boundary process, so it has to be the project plan. And the reason it's updated because the project plan must always show what the latest status of the project is. So if anybody picks it up, they can see what is developed and delivered and what still has to be done. Next, 28. What has a temporary organization that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more products according to an agreed business case with a certain time and cost? Actually, that's taken directly from the manual, and that's the definition of a project. So that would be that one there. How does the management by exception framework help the project board to reduce their time needed on the project? In other words, how is it a more efficient use of their time? So the first one, the project board can delegate responsibility to the project manager. That's in line with it because that's what this allows. The project board can take care of all the change requests. They can take care of some of them, but we have to watch the word all, so that doesn't have any value here. The project board can set team tolerances. No, they can't. That's done by the project manager, so that statement is false as well. The project board can avoid meeting the project manager during the project. That's absurd. So the only one here that makes sense is this one here. Question 30. What is the trigger for the directing a project process start? So when actually does the directing a project process start? That's the first decision for the project board. So that would happen not for the project mandate. Request to initiate a project is done by the corporate or program management. No. Request to initiating a project is done by the project manager. That's correct. And this one is done by the senior user. No. So it's this one here. So actually, the right answer is in these three, but then you have to watch the end of the sentence. Which of the following is not included in a project plan? So product descriptions, that's included in the project plan. The budget is definitely included. The schedule, that's part of the project plan as well. There's a lot actually in the project plan. And the risk plan is not part of the project plan. So that's that one there. Next, project assurance is a responsibility of the project board. So who is responsible for the quality assurance? It's a very common question that come up, that you have to know the difference between project assurance and quality assurance. So who is responsible? Is it the corporate, the project board, the senior user, or project assurance? Well, actually, this is outside the role of the project itself. So, and the highest level would be the project board. Because it's outside that, then it's a corporate or program management. So look that up if you need more information on it. What is another way to say the probability of the risk? Is that the impact? No. Is it the likelihood? That sounds good because it's linked to it. The cause of the risk? No. Or the risk factor of the risk? No. So the impact is not it, and it's the likelihood. So the probability or the likelihood of the risk happening. That's what we're trying to get to there. So next. Which plan is used on a day-to-day basis by the project manager? So, well, the project plan is too high level, so that covers the whole project. So you cannot use this as a day-to-day plan. The stage plan, that sounds good because that's what it does. The team plan is not used by the project manager, it's used by the team. And the quality plan, no either. So it's the stage plan. Question. Which process does the project manager review and update the business case, project plan, and create the next stage plan? So the keywords here would be update, So update these two and the next stage plan. So is that an initiation? No. Managing a stage boundary? Yes, because that's where we create these or this and we update these. Is it product delivery? No, because that's where the team manager works, and directing? No either. So that's that one. What is a complete and consistent set of products that are managed, tested, and deployed as a single entity to be handed over to users? So what's the word we use to describe this? Is it a release, an upgrade, a management product, or configuration item? So a release, yes, that sounds good because a release is a group of products that are managed and tested together. An upgrade, no. A management product is just one single product, so that's not it either. And a configuration is a description or the status of a product, so it's a release. During which process is the acceptance criteria of a project added to the project product description? Okay, so when actually is the project product description created? And that's created in the starting up a project process. And the acceptance criteria is part of this document, so it's created here as well. That's that. The purpose of which theme is to be able to control any acceptable deviation. So the purpose of which theme is to be able to control any acceptable deviation, and we can look at business case, risk, quality, or progress. Well, it's not the business case. Risk, maybe, because we have unacceptable deviation. Quality, no. And progress, that sounds very good because the progress theme is about setting up controls to basically monitor the whole project and to report when things are going wrong. So, control unacceptable deviations, that's definitely the progress theme. Next one. Which of the following documents is not used by the project manager to communicate risk during the project? So what does not have risk in it? We have highlight report, exception report, in-project report, and in-stage report. Well, this is not so easy. Highlight report, definitely we have risk in here. Exception report, well, maybe there is a risk because we could document one risk in there. The end project report, well, the project is about to be finished or it is finished, so risks don't really matter anymore from a project point of view. So it wouldn't be in here. And we have end stage report, we could still mention risks in here. So I would say that the end project report is not used by the project manager to communicate risk during the project. When are project tolerances set for the project? So for the first time that they are set. Are they set in the initiation, starting up, directing a project, or closing? Well, initiation sounds good because that's the planning stage where we do all the planning and that's where we add the information to the project initiation document. Starting up a project is too early. We do not discuss the tolerances until the project starts. Directing a project, no, because they are documented by the project manager, so they're not done here. And closing a project is probably a bit late, so it's initiating a project. Which document is created in the starting up a project process and is normally a 1 to 3 page description of the main product that will be produced? Now, I often call this the main project or the main product that will be delivered by the project. Is it the project approach? No. Outline business case? No, that's not it. End stage report or project product description. That's why I call it the main product description, the main output you're trying to do. Next, which statement is not correct about technical stages? So the technical stages can overlap, but management stages do not. Technical stages are usually linked to skills. That also sounds okay. A technical stage can span a management stage boundary. That's good as well. The project board makes decisions at the end of every technical stage. That's not true because they do it at the end of every management stage. So that one is not correct. In which process is the risk register created? Well, all the registers are created in the initiation stage. There were some log files created in the starting up a project process, but it's in the initiation stage. So that's that. The purpose of which document is to provide information about the status of the products. This can be a report on one product, a group of products, or all products created during a stage. First one is an item report. No, this is definitely not it. We don't have such a report. CMDB report, we don't really have a report called a CMDB report. The report coming from the CMD database is a product status account report. So that fits very well. And a product report, we don't have that either. So it's a product status account. Next question. Which role provides information and resources for the benefits review plan in the initiating project process? So the keywords are which role provides information. So who gives information to fill in the document, the benefits review plan. So what benefits are expected and when will we going to get them? And it definitely doesn't come from the support. It comes from the user. So definitely not that role. And it's the senior user who's accountable. I always give the example of the head of the business department who's going to use the product. That's it. Next question. What principle is supported by the project manager representing the stakeholder interests? So tip, so which principle says that the project board should be represented by the three primary stakeholders? Well, we need a principle that's more focused on responsibilities, and that's the first one here. In which process are products quality checked? So is it starting up? No, because we don't have any products yet. Initiating a project? No, that's the planning. We haven't created anything. Stage boundary? They should be finished by then because that's when we look in between the stages. And we have managing product delivery, which is correct because the products are quality checked before the team hands them back to the project manager. The responses to opportunities are share, exploit, enhance, or so opportunities is risks that can happen, but it's actually good for the project if they do. So avoid, no, transfer, no, reduce, or reject. It's reject. In which process does the quality planning begin? Well, the quality planning begins as soon as the project path description is created, because the quality data is part of that document. So then it's in the starting up a project process because the project product description is created here. Question. What is a common response to a threat and opportunity? So it's a common response for both the threat and opportunity. So avoid, share, reduce, and fallback. Avoid, well, this one is share, because avoid, we have a different word for opportunity. We can reject it. And reduce opportunity, no, we don't have that. And fallback, no. So it's share. Which role assists the project manager in distributing the project plans, stage plans, and the team plans? Well, we're talking about a role who supports the project manager, and that would be project support. Which of the following levels is not part of the project management team? So what's in the project management team? The delivery level, that's where the team manager sits, that's good. The management level, well, that's the project manager themselves. The program level, that's outside the project, and the direction level is where the project board sit. So it's the program level. Which document describes the specific risk management techniques and standards to be applied during the project and its responsibilities? Well, immediately I'm thinking of a strategy document. So, a how to do risk management during your project. And that's what we have here. We have the risk management strategy documents, and these are put together in the planning phase of the project. In which process are the decisions taken by the project board to initiate the next stages, so to start the next stages? So that's the decision they take for every new stage that starts. So where does a project board sit? Well, they don't sit in managing a stage boundary, they sit in the directing a project process. That's where they take all the decisions. So we don't really have to look in the other two. The next stage plans are created here, but the decisions are done here. What provides information on the activities that are carried out during the project and by whom? So, do the teams provide this? No, the team are more knowledge areas. The processes, yeah, they provide information on what steps to be done and who should do this. The diagrams and templates, no. So, it's the processes. During which process does the project manager monitor the team progress using the checkpoint reports and the quality register? Well, the project manager is always in the controlling a stage process while they are communicating with the team manager. So it has to be this one. It would be confusing if the managing product delivery was here, but it's not, so that's where the project manager is sitting. There are 5 steps to issue and change management, and these are capture, examine, propose, decide, and one of these. So reject, no, that's a response for risk. Mitigate, also something to do with risk. Respond, no, no, that's not something that you would do here. And implement, yeah, so we've decided on something and we're going to implement it. So it's implement. Which role represents the delivering level in the project management team? So it's asking which role is responsible for delivering the products. And that would be the team manager. So the team manager is there, the project manager is at the management level, the senior supplier is at the board level, and that's the project board. So it's the team manager who's responsible. In a normal PRINCE2 project, which plan is the second to be created? Okay, you got to think about this for the moment. Most people think it's a stage plan, but if you think about it, the stage plan is created first because we use that to run the initiation stage. So the project plan is the next one, and the team's plans are not created until later in the project, and exception plans are only created if we have a big issue, which happens in the controlling stage. So that's there. Which one of the following is not a PRINCE2 principle? Well, maybe this is one of the ones you got to know by heart. So, tailored to suit the project environment, that's a well known principle. There are just 7 of them. Defined roles and responsibilities, that also sounds good. Continued business justification is to do with the business case, that also sounds good. So, managed by the quality technique, there's no such thing. So, it's management by exception. What is not a benefit of using PRINCE2? So there are lots of benefits to using PRINCE2, but of course we can't have everything. So the PRINCE2 learns from users, other methods and specialists. That's good, because it learns from other projects. PRINCE2 can be applied to any kind of project. That's also true. Clear roles and responsibilities are an important part of PRINCE2. That's also true. PRINCE2 guarantees meeting the business case objectives 100% of the time. Okay, well, that sounds a bit iffy there. So that's not true. There's no way it can guarantee that. In which process are the following activities? So review the stage status and report highlights. So review the stage status is where the project manager will look at the stage plan and he will see how well their stage is going according to the stage plan. And they will also create highlight reports and send them to the project board. So that's in the controlling a stage process. In which process does the project manager set up project controls? So these project controls will show the project board how they can control the project. So the project controls are set what I call the planning phase of the project, which is the initiation phase. That's what PRINCE2 calls it. So that will be the initiating of a project. Managing a stage boundary, it's a bit late. Controlling a stage is also a little bit late. And directing a project, that's for the project board. In which process do the quality review meetings take place? Okay, so the quality review meetings, it's where products are given back, or they're completed, tested, and they're handed over to the people who are going to use them, or to show them that they have reached the quality. And that's done in the managing product delivery. So it's that one there. What is a sum of money that is put aside just to deal with specific responses to threats or opportunities? So if risks happen, maybe we need some money to be able to deal with this. So is it a risk fund, risk report, risk budget, or risk insurance? Risk budget is the term that PRINCE2 uses. What is a risk? It's a set of events, should they occur, will have an effect on achieving the project objectives. That sounds very good. Issues that have happened and are now being dealt with. No, that would be an issue. Something that concerns the project board only. That's also incorrect. Something that concerns the team only. That's also incorrect. So it's the first one. Which PRINCE2 principle uses tolerance to establish the limits of delegated authority? So the key words here are delegated authority. So when we delegate authority to the level below so they can carry on and take care of issues that might pop up within their tolerance level. So focus on products, no. Continue business justification, no. Management by exception, this is it. So it says that to allow the person or the level below to get on with their work, and if there's a big issue, then report it up to the next level. Which of the following is not correct for project assurance? So it's independent of the project manager. That is correct. The keyword here is not correct. Appointed as part of the project management team. That's also correct. Consisting of business user and supplier assurance. That's correct. Independent of the project. No, that's incorrect, because they are part of the project, and if it's not done by anybody, it's done by the project board. That's the correct one to choose for not. Which document is created in the initiation stage, that's the planning stage, and is the responsibility of the executive, and the project manager will assist the executive to create this document? So it's not that one. The outline business case, that could be it. The business case or the product description. So the outline business case, well, that's in the starting up a project process. So it's not that one. So it's the business case. And the product descriptions, well, that's created by the project manager. So with help from the team managers. So here we have the business case. Which role sets the work package tolerances? So the work package tolerances are always set by the level above, and their work package tolerances are used by the team, so they're set by the project manager. So that's that there. Which is not one of the 5 characteristics of a project? This is something you just have to know. So it's uncertainty, correct, because projects are uncertain. It's unique. You're always trying to do something new. Cross-functional. You'll have people working from different departments who normally wouldn't work together. So that is also a characteristics. And business as usual. So it's definitely not that. Okay, that's day-to-day operations. Which team has the purpose to define and establish the project structure of accountability and responsibilities? Okay, so here we're talking about the project structure, so that's the project organization, and who's accountable for different items and who's responsible. Well, then that would be the organization team. All of the project roles are covered in the organization team. Which management product provides the project cost information for the business case and is updated during the stage boundary process? So which management product provides the project costs? So the keyword here is project costs, and this information is used by the business case to calculate the return on investment and is updated during the stage boundary process. So that's definitely then the project plan, because that's where the project costs are. So that's it there. 74. In a quality review, whose role responsible for chairing the review meeting and would coordinate the introductions? Okay, so PRINCE2 uses different roles for the quality review meetings. And the keyword here is chairing, and it's down here. So the reviewer, that's the person who's listening. Administrator is the person who's taking notes. The presenter is presenting the product, so somebody from the team to say this is what we've done. And the chair is just making sure that the meeting runs correctly. In which management product would a product's quality tolerance be defined? So in which document do we talk about the quality tolerance of a product? The strategy document, no. Quality register, no. We keep other information there about when it's likely to be quality tested and if it passed or not. The product database, there's no such thing. And a product description, it's held in here. So it's one of the things is the quality we expect and the tolerances for each feature. It's in here. So that's it. So we have reached number 75 to 75. You just click on quick summary to end. I hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you want to look at the other questions, you can just go on to our website and have a look at the full 380 questions, and you can view them like this. The good thing as well is that after you've finished the questions, you can review them to see which ones you got right or wrong. And if you didn't get them correct, you can actually see where you went wrong and you can learn from it. So the next time you do the exam, it will go better and better. Okay? If you have any questions, you can contact me on frank@mplaza.pm. Bye-bye.